As a GTD coach, I'm often asked what kind of tool should I use as I set up a new GTD system. And my answer is there's not one right answer. It depends on you, and it depends on the job you're in. It depends on your situation, the kind of things you put in your system. But most importantly, try something. Just start with something and use it for a while and see if it works for you. If you're starting to feel like you're getting a handle on tracking all of the things you have commitment to, then probably the system is working well for you. If you struggle and you keep thinking about the system constantly, then it might not be the right one for you. But you have to give yourself time to kind of play with different options. I've been using GTD 15 years and I've changed systems several times. There have been times when my system was electronic. Maybe I had a lot of complex projects. I needed to choose a system that allowed me to link next actions to the specific projects they went with. There were other times when I used a paper planner for my action list, or some hybrid of both electronic and paper, which is what I'm doing right now. Let me talk a little bit about what I'm doing today. There's lots of other GTD coaches who I know do great videos about different systems out there, so this is just another option to think about. My current system is a hybrid. I use calendars that are electronic attached to both of my email accounts, my personal and my professional. My mobile phone allows me to see both my personal and professional appointments on that calendar on my phone, so it has beautiful overlap. I actually love that, so whether I'm working or traveling or at home, I can see all of my appointments for the day on one calendar, even though they're entered in separate calendars. So that works great for me. It's just the way I've got my phone set up. In terms of email, a lot of my work right now comes in via email. It shows up as email and it gets handled as email. So I have a really good email system with archive folders that I keep at the very bottom with the letter Z in front of the name of the folder, so it stays at the very bottom of a long list. I have a lot of reference folders. I probably have 15 years worth of files from training and development that I've done. And I have action folders at the top. I have action waiting for. I actually have a read and review folder because I'm constantly having people send me articles about training trends. I usually want to take time to read through those before I decide if I'm going to delete them or forward them to someone or just file them as reference. So I have a read and review that stays at the top with my action folders. And sometimes if I have a temporary fast-moving project that's going to last just a couple of months, I'll put a project folder up near the top with all the project support in it, so it's easy to get in and out of without scrolling. And an example would be early in January, I'll create a taxes folder. I'll start to move things into it as they show up in email or as attachments to email until I'm ready to compile all that for my accountant. So after that, the project folder gets moved down to the reference section like all the others. In terms of a next action list, I currently am using a paper planner, which I did once before years ago, and I'm actually loving it. I travel a lot. It gives me the ability, even when I'm offline, to kind of review what's on my action list. And it's just simple and easy. The planner that I'm currently carrying is a small one, so it's easy to travel with. And then of course I have my different list tabbed with lined paper. What I like about this particular planner is it has the kind of paper that easily comes out and then pops right back in. So it's kind of that notched paper. It's called a disc planner. So I like the way that works really well. And if you just looked at one of my lists, for example, here's my computer list, you would just see it's just a simple list of next actions that I check off as I get done. A lot of times you'll hear people ask the question about using a paper planner and what they use for collect and capture, because one of the setup guides that talks about a paper planner or a paper system has the designation of a section for capturing or collecting. I don't actually capture or collect typically in my actual pages. I tend to carry a little easy notepad with tear off pages for collection and capture and just carry that into meetings with me. The nice thing is it actually will fit inside that little envelope of this planner if I want to carry it with me, but it's great to have a separate capture tool for me, and I can actually tear the pages off, put them in an inbox until I get them clarified into next actions. So that's my capture and collect on paper that I use. If, for instance, I want to take my errands list out the door, as I'm going to run errands, I have a couple options. One, I can take this page right out and put it right back in later after I check off the ones I've completed. Or I can even grab my phone and just take a picture of my errands list as I go out the door and have my phone with me for that. So that's a couple of examples of how I would use that on the go. Hopefully this is helpful as you think about what kind of system might work for you. I didn't land on this easily. It's years and years of different types of systems, and knowing what works for me right now with the kind of work I'm doing, the kind of travel I have, and what just feels good and really kind of attracts me to my system versus repelling me if I'm too busy worrying about the tool instead of thinking about my actions. So that's kind of a clue for me when I need to readjust. Hope this is helpful. Have a great GTD day.